Well, when the index bounces back with almost 300 points in a day, it's very obvious that it should consolidate. And that's exactly what the index did today. Good evening, traders. We are today on the 2nd of November 2021, 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time, relatively earlier as I'm recording this video. Take a look at the daily chart. This is the Nifty near-month futures. It was a small-bodied candlestick for the index, down just 85 points, little less than 0.5% to consolidate yesterday's high momentum 293 points gain. A more appropriate chart would be the 75-minute one, wherein we have spent some time and some analysis. 18K psychological level was inched marginally yesterday, and the call was, this is where the psychological resistance lies. This is the band where the erstwhile lows and VWAP, etc. lies, and one should be careful. And so what did you get today is an 85 points short-term correction, implying that this was a slowdown of that 300 points gain. This is a slowdown. The big question mark comes that where are we heading? Are we heading back to that 18K tomorrow, or are we slipping further down towards 17,800 or further down? Well, we're going to get a move early morning tomorrow, that's for sure. Looking at the way how the prices had come down and created an inside bar, as I focus a little bit on these Heikin-Ashi candles and the way they have behaved in today's trade, when I combine them, I get a feeling that a move beyond this particular red bar, the high is 17,965, the low is 17,860. I think that either of a movement from beyond this particular candle's high or low is going to give us the direction. Possibility is there that we can get a bounce towards 18K, because today's movement was not that bad. We had seen some stock specific gainers here and there, so we can kind of pass today's short shallow correction as a consolidation of yesterday's 300 points gain, number one, and maybe the bounce back is still intact. First sign of confirmation, if it happens, will come above 17,965 tomorrow. In that case, I'm quite certain that a retest of 18K or further ahead is highly possible. The other side of the spectrum, slip below this 17,850, 860 levels, and I think it's time to be a little more careful, because we might be heading back to this short-term supports, the 17,650, 750 zone for the Nifty futures. Taking a look at the sectoral indices, real estate was the biggest gainer, continuous for I think 2 consecutive days now. PSU banks, thanks to SBI, did really well. Small caps and mid caps did relatively better, close to 1%'s gain, where we have 0.5% negative movement from the Nifty. So you can see that the large caps are not doing that good. This is not a very good sign. The bounce back seems to be participating or extending a little bit further within the smaller and mid cap stocks, but the larger caps are actually underperforming. We get a much better picture if you take a look at the top 17 stocks which make up the Nifty. And Tata Steel 3.7%, Reliance, HCL, they were all down 1%. Maruti was the one which was gainer today. Let's take a look at the daily charts, and pretty nice movement, almost 2%, but slips from its intraday highs. Pretty good bounce back from the stock, followed by SBI, Larsen, Bharti Airtel, still just holding that range we had spoken about, if you remember. And then we have Tata Motors, Sun Pharma, etc. So a bit of happening is there within the large caps. Marginal gains are happening, and as well as some decent amount of corrections, like stocks like Tata Steel, Reliance is very much evident. So I think the index did fairly okay with 85 points negative move in today's trade. It was okay. It was anticipated that psychological 18K can provide some resistance, and it has. And going forward, I think it will be important to see how we fare out tomorrow. Day after tomorrow is a market holiday, so we need to keep this in mind that we will be opening next again on Friday. So keep your positions accordingly so that you can deal through 2 nights of global cues. Going back to the indices then, Nifty, I would say okay, wait and watch. Short term intraday are those two levels which I mentioned. If it takes out 18K on the upside, we will be probably a little more interested to see further gains. But the bias, the short term trend is on the downside very much. And so I think it's a 50-50 situation now, maybe 55, maybe 60-40, 60 on the downside, 40 on the upside. I'm giving that 10% more because of the underlying trend. It's much more easier to follow the trend. So continue to be a little careful. Good luck with your stock picks on the long side because the markets have gone extremely stock specific. Stay light. Let's observe how it plays out, and we'll arrange our stance accordingly based on the market's movement. Right. Thank you for supporting me and sharing your comments. Till then, take care of yourselves. Trade well and trade wise.